And you just think, that could easily be you any second now.
Yoo-hoo!
Oh wait, actually it's not that bad.
It's actually...
It got a lot lighter now.
Let's do this shit. Welcome to episode 3 of the WannaBe Profiles. And we're here with our next guest, as you can see right here. So I guess just start us off, kind of what's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Caleb. I've been in a couple WannaBe Pro amateur videos before.
Yeah, no one knows the name.
And I'm from Seattle, Washington, but I've been living here in Draper for the past little while. And yeah.
Okay, so you're from Washington. What's it like out there?
It's a lot greener. I really liked growing up like near, there's mountains out there, there's lots of water. I grew up doing a lot of fishing, a lot of hiking, camping. And yeah, it's got a lot more kind of remote mountains that are really cool, but very not as good of access as we've got here to mountains.
But you did a lot of those mountains out there?
Yeah. I've done a lot in the Cascades, the North Cascades. I've climbed like all the Pacific Northwest volcanoes.
And you just did it alone? What'd you do?
Most of them were with my dad. I got into it when I was like 15 or so with my dad and then some family friends. And we did a lot of mountaineering together. I did Boy Scouts growing up, and my dad was like one of our Boy Scout leaders. So did a lot of camping through that, hiking. And yeah, since then I've done more stuff out there on my own, but growing up it was all with my dad.
Yeah, I think the thing that I did with my dad mostly was we went to yard sales every weekend. I wish we would have been climbing some mountains out there.
I've heard about the famous sterile yard sales before.
I mean, let's just say we got some good stuff. You guys are on the mountains, but we were getting some cheap goods.
I bet you guys got some deals.
Oh yeah, you see this shirt right here?
No way.
Yeah, yard sale.
4th grade.
Yeah, it still fits. I have not grown. Okay, so you're out in Utah, right? And then you graduated. You and Morgan were already married at that point?
Yeah, we got married before I graduated.
Okay. And then why did you decide to stay kind of in here?
Yeah, I definitely, when I first moved out here, I had no intention of staying here for a long time. But what really did it for me was, like, in essence, trail running. Even as late as like 2019, I didn't really know anybody else out here who was into outdoorsy activities on the same level as me, like who wanted to go run up Timp or whatever. And I had like some ski friends and some fishing friends, but I don't think it really solidified for me that like the trail running community was so tight knit here and I could be part of that until end of 2019. I met Finn and some other guys at a race here in Corner Canyon. And
legendary race.
Yeah. And that really just like connected me into the network of like Salt Lake area trail running people. And once we made friends with all those guys and I was having so much fun exploring all the new trails here, I have not wanted to leave since then, basically.
Yeah, I think like having it as a central base, I still can't think of a place I think I'd rather live, being like the person that like I am, and I think you are too.
Yeah, so. There's also a ton of good stuff just within like a 4-hour driving radius.
Right.
You can get to such a wide variety of amazing things, but it's a great like central home base.
But I remember the first time, I think I might have told this in the Garrett one too, but it was when my friend from Baltimore came out, my friend Eric, and he told me about Garrett basically, and when I was looking at his profile, I just remember, and I feel like for some reason you guys don't remember, but I remember a picture just of you guys bare ass up on Lone Peak.
Oh, with Jimmy. That was on it.
Oh, that was with Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I was in the picture though. I think I took the picture and it was just of Garrett. If I
know there were 2 people. I'm pretty sure there were 2 people.
Maybe I cracked it.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I think it was early Garrett when you realized that you could just ignore everything.
Yeah, back when I didn't think I could say no because he had run a sub 4-minute mile, so I thought like, yes.
Yeah, I'll pull my pants down.
Yeah,
for
I'll
you.
drop my pants and do whatever you want.
Yeah, I went through that phase too. Yeah. Anyways, I saw that picture and I was like, I just remember thinking, dang, there's no way I'll ever be friends with these guys. And anyway, I guess I thought you were in that picture.
I might have been.
Do you remember the first time, I don't know, you heard about me or anything, or just, yeah.
I was outpacing Finn at what was formerly known as the Squaw Peak 50, and I remember sitting there waiting for Finn to come through, and while I was waiting, you came through. I think you were in first probably at the time.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And yeah, so that was my first exposure to you. I had also ridden out on like a crew bus with one of your friends who was going to be pacing you. I think I had sat next to him and I was like, hey, what are you doing out here? Because we both assumed like our runners must be near the front because we were already headed out.
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, I'm from Baltimore. My friend Jacob is running it. And then I saw you come through. So didn't really know who you were, but that was my first time seeing you.
Probably like, dang, that guy is so cool. He's just running this race right now.
I thought, oh, I wish I was pacing him. He's running instead of walking all cramped up.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have been done 4 hours sooner.
Except, yeah, well, then maybe that. But also, like about 10 miles later, I was cramping and walking very, very slow.
Still managed to finish a ways ahead of us.
Yeah. But I just feel like kind of throughout, I guess, the years now, kind of realize I feel like we have a decent amount in common, which I feel like has just been, makes it like fun to hang out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously like exploring the mountains together, pretty similar fitness, maybe, debatable. I mean, similar interests, like similar types of humor. I feel like we're both pretty like introspective and like pretty logical too. Mm-hmm. So I feel like kind of mesh. And and I wrote here, we both love hot tubs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, definitely not that. And both we have receding hairlines.
Yeah, both love hot tubs.
Yeah. And from your perspective, what do you think kind of made us click?
I think there's some people who, when you're like looking for an adventure buddy kind of thing, like somebody who you can go do these long days with, you need it to be somebody who you're not going to be annoyed with if you're spending 12 hours plus with them. So I think number one is you just have the undefinable X factor that makes you not super annoying.
I guess that's the bar.
That's the bar. And then obviously I think like having that fitness enough that we can match each other and do fun things together at a pace that works well for both of us is great. I also think while we can have like intellectual conversations and like go deep on things if we want to, but you can also just pass hours and hours of mindless like stupid wordplay or like just whatever.
This rhymes with this.
Or even silence too, and it's not like awkward or like you don't feel like there's pressure to talk if you want to just like lock in and grind and go for nonverbal for a few hours.
Yeah.
Nobody takes it personally.
No, yeah.
Both been there.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. Yeah, you've been on, I think I counted 12 different WannaBe Pro, which is the most.
Gotta be a record.
It is a record. Yeah, so we've done, I looked it up, the Ptarmigan Traverse, the WURL. We were in the Sawtooth together. Lost River Range, we skied Tuck, we did La Salle Traverse, Tiwanaut, Middle South Teton, and obviously like tons of days in the Wasatch, and then crewing the last 20 miles of Western. If you could just pick one of those things, or it could also just be a day that we've been in the Wasatch or something. Like some of those I just stick out to me too, but which one do you think kind of sticks out the most?
There's like a lot of different like qualifiers that I could put on it. Like most epic was definitely Ptarmigan Traverse. Maybe also the most down bad I've seen you, although WURL might be up there too. But I don't know, lots of good ones. Like the day pacing on Western States was like special for different reasons, and that one was awesome. But yeah, I would say WURL, Ptarmigan, and Western States are maybe top 3.
WURL, Ptarmigan, and Western States. Yeah, I think that it makes sense. Just like those are so
in no specific order.
Yeah, I feel like those are just like the most epic days, and then like also like from different perspective. Like yeah. Okay, I thought you were gonna say Ptarmigan, but you're on the list, so I was close enough. But no, I think for that one, I feel like that just seems so special because just like one, like going back to your homeland.
Yeah.
I feel like it was cool, and then like I had been out there in 2018. I like always wanted to get back there. This was like something that we saw. I think I saw that video of those two girls that you met, right?
Yeah.
The route is basically made up of 5 alpine traverses, starting with Redoubt Whatcom High Route, the northern and southern Picus traverses, the Isolation Traverse, and then the Ptarmigan Traverse. On paper, it comes out to about 120 miles and 60,000 feet of elevation gain. But to be honest, those numbers don't even come close to putting the scale of this terrain into context. Each one of these traverses on their own would take a seasoned alpinist around 3 to 7 days to complete. And the only humans we know to have ever tried to link it up in one go did it back in 1990, and it took them a month. We're gonna try to do it in 7 days.
That's so cool. And yeah, that was really inspiring, I feel like. Actually, did you talk to her about that?
Yeah, I went on like a 2.5 hour run with her.
Really?
Yeah, because she's Anna's North Face teammate. So Anna invited her to go on a run with us and Jimmy. And we talked a bunch about, she was all psyched that I had heard of it because she's like, no one ever realizes how hard that was.
Yeah, that's just so impressive.
And I was like, no, that was insane. I can't believe you did that.
Just like knowing what that took to do Ptarmigan and knowing it was basically like 3 more of those straight.
And we couldn't even like get out of bed the next day.
Yeah, I couldn't move and my feet were dead. Yeah, the smell would have been insane at the end.
I can't imagine.
Imagine 4 days of that smell.
No.
I think it reverses and actually goes back to normal. I think that was the most memorable for sure, but I also think there was other fun stuff like the just staying in Marble Mount, I feel like was really funny. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts on that.
Yeah, we were in a little hostel together. I think we thought that it was going to be like a hotel or something like with like a legit room and like air conditioning. And somehow this is like the worst heat wave week that had hit Washington in a long time. And so we would go out and do these big long days and we'd come back, want like a cold shower, cold drink, cold hotel room, and just like lay down and do nothing. And instead we were just dripping sweat. We were like looking for ice and like wet towels and stuff AC, to put on our. Yeah, no. Yeah. The AC was either broken or didn't exist. And there was one fan, and it was one of those fans where you hit the button and it like goes back and forth. And so I'm like, okay, the only fair way to do this is to put it between our beds and then make it fan back and forth. And like every hour I'd wake up sweating and look over and you would have like fixed the fan in a single spot pointed directly at you. And so I'd go back and flip it up. And so I'd start rotating again. And then that happened like 4 or 5 times a night for like 4 nights straight. And so then we finally ended up bailing on this place, losing some money, which I know must have hurt you to your core.
So much.
And checking into a reservation that we thought did have AC, or not a reservation, checking into a hotel like in a different city that we thought had AC. Turns out that AC was also broken. And so we like broke down in tears and the manager came and like kind of fixed it, but it still didn't work that well.
No, yeah. I remember waking up in the middle of the night shivering. I'm under all the blankets shivering, and he's like splayed out, sweat just drenching his face, and I'm just shivering.
I had to drink like 4 liters of water at night just to break even.
And I wake up in the morning, I'm like, dude, that was freezing. Yeah, that whole town is just like funny that it's like out there.
Oh yeah, and there's like one restaurant in the town, yeah. And so we go there on the very first day. And Jacob walks in and the waitress is trying to be so nice and like, do you need any more water? And
every second.
Jacob just will not even look at her, will not reply, just absolutely ignoring her. And I'm like, no, he's good on water. Like, I'm like answering everything.
Okay, but you didn't give any background. She had already come up like 100 times. You would drink 1 sip of water and she would come back and say, need me to fill it up?
That's what I want. I was so thirsty.
It was 1 sip. It was a full glass.
He's just shutting her down, and we get to the end, and he's like, I'm not tipping. And then we see this girl for the next 4 days because it's the only place in town to eat.
I thought you were going to poison my waters. I'm like, no, there's nowhere else to go here, and I just pissed off the only waitress in town. What has been drawing you more to the like ultra running side of endurance sports? Like the race aspect.
Yeah. I really like all of our like mountain adventure stuff that we do, but I also think that right now I kind of have this chance to get all this support from like a brand and from Morgan, and I feel like people are investing in my ultra running, and so I want to give it a fair chance and like see how much I can get out of myself, see if I can do something special with it. And yeah, just take advantage of like the support that I'm currently getting to do it. And it's been really fun seeing like every year, it seems like I'm getting significantly better at it. And so seeing that progress and just like feeling fitter and fitter is a really good feeling.
But what, you could have done that with like FKT stuff or something?
I could have, but it is easier to, I think you don't get the same level of support if you're doing the FKT kind of stuff. Like Nike's not going to pay me to go set FKTs for now. And maybe someday.
Yeah.
And also, like, the level of competition is very different, and the publicity around those things is very different. And it's kind of fun doing things that other really fit people are doing and seeing how you stack up and feeding the ego when you are able to pull it off.
Yeah. And like the success, I feel like also like probably has accelerated that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for me, it's always like, it's like a mixed thing in terms of like you're leaning into this.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like I'm like every time you're like doing insanely well in one of the races, I'm like super stoked, and like it's been really fun watching the rise and everything. But obviously it means like, okay, well, maybe he's not going to want to go out to Alaska or something, or maybe like pull trigger and go to some random place.
Yeah.
Just because you're going to be like more dedicated to training and stuff.
It's pretty hard to just like leave for a month and go like
Just
live
walk
on Denali for like skiing glaciers like the month before Western States or something like that.
Yeah, getting stuck in bush or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel like you've internalized that at all?
I think I've made peace with it, and just I know that will still be around even when like my competitive days are over. I can still like, I don't really care if it's FKTs or not, but like I can still go out and do those cool big mountaineering things that also inspire me.
So I can't get this whole interview without bringing up Morgan. I've known her for, I guess, like probably 3 or 4 years now, and I feel like every year we've gotten like closer. But I feel like right after France, I feel like was kind of where we really started our relationship.
She saw a whole new side of you.
Yeah, many different.
The front side.
You should probably elaborate.
And the back side.
Probably elaborate.
Why don't we get her over here?
There's one thing that stood out on the France trip, and it was that Jacob was in his underwear 100% of the time while we were there.
Okay, like 80%.
Okay, it wasn't
80% of the time. Every single time we were in the Airbnb, Jacob was in his underwear. And I was
just hanging around. Like, why was I in my underwear?
I don't know why you were in your underwear.
I was grinding. I was working out all day.
I know you would do like tricep dips in the kitchen in your underwear. I think
for hours.
I think it's because
just to feel something while he was crying.
You didn't have any clean clothes left. I'm not sure. And I would have to tell Caleb, you have to tell him to put some clothes on.
No one ever told me. Yeah, I was just walking around.
Anyways, that's what stood out.
You guys are having a baby, as I feel like they just saw. What are you looking forward to, I think, like most?
I think it'll be really cool once he's old enough to like do things together. Like even just like being able to put him on a backpack and go on a hike with him or something like that. It'll be a little annoying because I'm used to doing that with gallons of water that you can just dump out at the top. Yeah. But I'll have to carry him back down.
Oh.
But I do think that kind of thing will be fun.
Yeah. No, that would be super cool. Yeah. No, just a warning. He's not going to dump out any baby. We don't condone infant violence here. Okay, kind of last question before the rapid fire round. Obviously, we talk about like a bunch of different stuff on like these runs, and like you said, like a lot of it's just like absolute nonsense. Like if anybody listened to it, they would think we were clinically insane, probably. And then the other half is like actually good conversations. So it's like kind of a mix. Yeah. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind, like just a conversation or something?
The first one that's coming to my head is actually that was. There's a lot of ones that are coming to my head that are pretty dumb, but one that comes to my head is, do you remember when I started getting nauseous on the WURL like 8 hours in, but you were somehow still feeling kind of okay at that point?
Yeah.
And so just to like slow you down kind of, I was like, dude, what's your next blog post about? And you started telling me about how it's about like the declining rates of marriage, and I don't know. Really that one stuck with me because I really needed you to talk.
Yeah.
And so that took your mind off of how slow I was going for long enough that I could recover.
Okay, cool. I think that's, we'll stop there. We'll do the rapid fire round. So there's 5 questions, 5 seconds or something. Let's just say 5 questions and just like say kind of the first thing that comes to your head. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Favorite cat, Louis or Sachi?
Louis.
Caleb will not stop talking about how much he just wants to be at home and playing with his cats. Oh, Wow.
Such a big reveal.
Right off the start.
Sachi's dumb. She's so
Yeah.
cute, but she's so dumb.
That's fair.
She's actually, I think, smarter than you.
Okay. First book that comes to your mind that you'd recommend.
Red Rising.
Red Rising, nice. Okay. It's 10 p.m. on a Wednesday. You're about to fall asleep when suddenly your phone starts ringing. Who's most likely to have called you right now?
Well, definitely Garrett. But first of all, if it's 10 p.m. on a Wednesday, I'm already asleep, and Garrett's missed his chance. It's probably 8 a.m. on a Wednesday. That's when Garrett usually calls.
Yeah, the answer
But
is...
it could be any time of day, and the answer is always Garrett.
Yeah. All right, well, it's good we got to the right answer. Okay, better TV show, The Office, Silicon Valley, or Sex Lives of College Girls?
That's a tough one. The Office is like the all-time classic. You have to go to The Office, but close second is Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I thought you might say Silicon Valley there. Okay, last one. Worst thing you've ever smelled in your life?
Oh, your feet after ptarmigan for sure.
Yeah.
Enough that they infiltrated the fabric of my car, and it stuck around for weeks.
Yeah, they just your car was total.
I drove everywhere with my windows down for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, from now on, I always carry a trash bag with me and just like double wrap my shoes. And
That's
that's
still often not enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say you only keep like a 10-foot radius from it at that point. Okay, cool. Well, that's the last question. So thanks for doing it, anyways.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Until next time, that's WannaBe Profiles round 3. Peace.
That was amazing.
Yeah.